It's officially 2024 and I'm back with the first Charm Diaries of the new year. If you don't know me, my name is Charm. I'm a content creator and gamer, and if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, now would be the time to do it because YouTube is going to get much more consistent and a little bit more exciting this year. I took a little bit of a break over Christmas. I was still posting pretty consistently on social media, but I did try to take some time out away from my office, away from my computers, and just relax with the family, and it was definitely needed, but I'm excited to get going with content creation, new ideas and exciting new things this year. I talked a lot last year about starting to create more news-based content, and I have to tell you that's going really well for me. These news-based videos are definitely getting consistently more views than just general gameplay videos. I'm excited to do them. I've figured out the process. They're quite quick to produce but quite impactful, and the community seems to really like them, or alternatively hate them. I'm definitely getting some comments where people severely disagree with my opinions, but that's part and parcel of the process, I think. One of the challenges of TikTok stuff specifically, and actually social media in general, is that the start of the video has to be so incredibly strong. That's often achieved by putting something quite divisive at the beginning of the video, something that's definitely going to split opinion. So a recent video I did was about how PlayStation had released stats on the most played games by region, and basically everyone in the world was playing 3 games. It was all like Battle Royale and FIFA and that kind of thing, with a bit of GTA 5 thrown in. The only places that were slightly different were South Korea and Japan, who had a different set of games that were in their top 3. And I just thought that was incredible that there were so many amazing games out there, and yet most people were just playing the same game over and over again. So for a video like that, it's all well and good saying PlayStation have released some stats and then reading out the stats, but within the first 3 seconds of that video, I've got to capture people's attention and I've got to get them to continue watching. That's what most content creators would call the hook. I talked about the hook in a previous video that I'd done, where I'd created a video about the rarest PlayStation on the planet. And in this video, as opposed to just reading out the stats, I started the video by saying gamers are the most boring people on the planet. That really got people's backs up. That wasn't my intention, but I just thought the stats read a pretty disappointing story in terms of the variety of games that people were playing, but it definitely caused conversation within the comments, and the more conversation that happens in the comments, the more people share it, the more people like it, all of that kind of stuff really boosts the views of that video and keeps it going for a longer time. Now, I'm not going out there to try and be divisive specifically, but if my opinion maybe goes against the grain and I truly believe that, i.e. it aligns with what I really think, then I'm not going to be afraid of doing that kind of stuff and making sure that the hooks in my video are really strong. So I'm getting closer to like a formula for a successful video, especially in this news-based content, where I'm trying to really figure out what the hook of that video is and then try to make sure there's payoffs throughout the video and that the editing is really strong, that there's multiple visual layers in it. I'm trying to bring all of that stuff together to make sure that I'm producing the very best content that's actually going to add value to the community. And I hope that I'm actually bringing news and bringing information to the community that they're not yet aware of. I'm taking all of this information, this news, and I'm consuming it, and I'm trying to put it out in a really easily consumable way. And if that's the first time you're hearing of that thing that I'm talking about, then that's a win for me. But it's not just a win for me, it's a win for the community also. You're getting to experience things and learn things that maybe you wouldn't have come across if it wasn't for the content that I was putting out. There are lots of great gaming news influencers, creators out there who are doing great stuff, and I think there's room for everyone. There's like an abundance of people on social media. So what I'm hoping is that the people that are investing in my channel, that are following me, that are engaging with my content, are there not just because I'm delivering gaming news, because they like the way I put it together, they like me as a person, they like my personality. Hopefully that comes across. But let's talk a little bit more about the plans for this year, the kind of overarching goals. I won't go into specific numbers, but I have been on this road on TikTok for a while of trying to hit that 10k follower mark. It's taken me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. If you look at my likes compared to my follows, they're massively outweighed, but there is some content now that's really starting to develop actual followers rather than just people who are liking and commenting. My plan this year is to really double down on that content that's working and actually invest in content that is getting lots of views and try and push it a little bit further into the channel by promoting it to new audiences. So yes, I am going down the route of where I am paying to advertise my content to a wider group of people. Even if content is good, even if it's getting engagement, that doesn't necessarily mean it gets pushed to the widest possible audience. Actually, what I'm seeing is if I invest in these well-performing pillar pieces of content that are already getting me followers, if I wait for those to kind of start to dip and then just give them a little nudge, they get a kind of second life. So the promotion will push it in front of a wider audience, and then even after that promotion's finished, it kind of continues to get a wider audience yet again, because TikTok sees that the engagement is coming when it's paid for, when it's being put in front of that audience, so it will continue to push that organically. It also has an effect on the account in general. The other videos that are live that aren't even being promoted are seeing more of an uplift as well, because more people are coming to the account, more people are viewing my profile, more people are going through my videos. So everything that I'm getting, any money that I make from content, and actually my own money that I make outside of content, is being invested in the channel to make sure we're reaching a bigger audience, to make sure we're building that community. Community is a big thing for me this year. Ever since I started going live, one of the things I always wanted to do is make sure that I am engaging and communicating with people in my live streams. So if you're a follower of my streams or you pop in, you will know that everybody that comments, everybody that follows, I'm really interactive with those people, and I want to continue to make sure that's a kind of staple of what I'm doing. If I'm live, it's because I want it to be an interactive performance. I'm not necessarily looking to make friends with every single person that comes into my stream, but I am looking to make sure that those people feel valued and heard, and that they're entertained by what I'm doing. That often means the streams go off in these kind of weird tangents when people mention something and we bring up stuff on screen on YouTube and watch it. It's not always just about gameplay anymore. The other thing I'm doing with my live content is I am starting to do more of these ad hoc lives. So if I've got a spare hour and I'm cooking dinner, or I'm doing some housework or whatever that might be, I might decide to go live and just have a chat. It's not about gaming, it's not about gameplay, it's just about interacting with the audience, talking about what's going on, talking them through my meal, whatever that might be, just basically having a chat. You're going to see more of that throughout this year as and when I get time to go live. If there's a space where I'd usually just be sitting back on the sofa scrolling through my phone, I'm going to take that time to actually engage with the audience outside of just gameplay. The next thing I'm going to focus on is this channel specifically, YouTube. I really want to get in front of more people on YouTube and produce long form content that is entertaining and informative and all of those things. The Charm Diaries will definitely be a segment of this channel that continues to exist, where I'm talking purely about my journey as a content creator, things that I'm struggling with, where I'm having success, where I'm having failures, where I'm learning, all of that stuff. I want to continue to do this and talk to you guys directly as I'm doing now. The other thing I want to reinvigorate is the Streamers of Consciousness podcast. I really believe in that podcast as a concept. I think interviewing and talking to big and small creators about their early gaming experiences, how they got involved in content creation, how they built up their audience, how they learned all this stuff, is really, really good, not just for creators, but it's really interesting for non-creators or people interested in gaming or creation in general, just to listen to. I just want to have interesting conversations with interesting people and talk to them about what's going on with them and see if there's any lessons and things that can be learned from them to help people avoid those same potholes. However, getting people, especially smaller creators who are potentially hesitant to come on podcasts, they don't have the confidence in themselves, or they're not sure about me as a creator, I'm a bit of an unknown myself, they don't necessarily know what it's going to be like, it's proved really difficult. I am pushing forward, recontacting people, reaching out to people all the time to try and get them on the podcast, but it has proved to be more difficult than I originally thought it was going to be. So I'm going to be augmenting those interviews with some other different styles of content. That might be everything from roundtables, where I'm talking to multiple creators at the same time that I already know, where we're not interviewing, but we're just having a discussion about gaming news, we're having a discussion about the industry, we're having a discussion about whatever might come up, and it's a bit more of a roundtable, open discussion thing. That's something that's definitely going to be coming up, so watch out for that. And also just anyone who's interested in the gaming, content creation, whatever that might be space, just creative people. That's the difficult thing about creating something new, right? You go into it with all this energy and passion, and you immediately, almost immediately, get faced with these roadblocks. With the podcast, for example, I got 2 episodes out, and I thought, yes, this is it, we're on the road now, people are interested, and then nothing. I couldn't get anyone on. I had some ideas about what I could do aside from that. I pivoted and started doing the Charm Diaries as part of it as well, but it was just impossible for me to get anyone on it. So I'm having to pivot and think about ways I can make that podcast work without the need to get one specific person on every episode. So that's something that I've got to work out. But if I don't persevere, then it might as well just die. I might as well not have it up there, because it's not going to do anything unless it's continuously producing content and continuously producing value. The final thing that I want to do this year is actually dedicate some time to creating long form, more kind of cinematic, filmic content. So it's not just going to be me sitting here talking, it's going to be written, produced things where I'm actually going out and filming something and editing it into something that could be classed as a short film. I've already got multiple ideas about what that's going to be. I just need to figure out the logistics of it, but that's something I definitely want to do. I've been trying to get my head around more of the higher level camera stuff, so thinking about the different functions of the camera, how I shoot stuff, rather than just having everything on auto and just clicking record. Actually, how to frame shots, how to color grade, how to all of these things that come with making a film that you don't think about. So these kind of cinematic short films are definitely going to be something I could produce this year, maybe one or two. I've already got an idea for one that I need to start writing, but they are going to be that. It's going to be something that you sit down and watch in the same way that you'd sit down and watch a TV series, rather than it just be me sitting here ad-libbing and thinking about stuff on the spot. Anyway, listen, I appreciate your support as always, guys. If you can please share this, like it, comment, subscribe, do all of those things. It's super helpful to me. Make sure you go and check me out over on TikTok. TikTok name is Charm the Gamer. And go and check out the other YouTube videos and the other installments of Charm Diaries, and I'll see you on the next one.